There's something you already know, but you keep ignoring it. You wasted 2025. You didn't mean to. You just thought you had more time. You said things like, I'll start tomorrow. I'll fix it next week. I'll do better next month. But now look around. 10 months gone, 2 months left, and you're still in the same room, with the same habits and the same life. You told yourself that 2025 would be different, that this would finally be your year. But somehow, it wasn't, and deep down, you know exactly why. You weren't lazy. You were comfortable. You were waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect mindset, the perfect chance. But that moment never came, because it never does. Let me tell you a story. There was a boy, not special, not lucky, just like you. Back in 2023, he discovered the world of self-improvement. He watched a video, and something sparked inside him. He thought, this is it. This is where my life changes. He bought a notebook, wrote down his goals, started waking up early, went to the gym, and studied hard. But after a week, the fire yet, and everything went back to normal. When 2024 arrived, he promised himself again, this year will be different. He made new resolutions, wrote affirmations, and planned everything down to the smallest detail. But nothing changed. By March, all his excitement had faded. He blamed luck, distractions, even his but the truth was simpler. He wasn't consistent. He was addicted not to failure, but to starting over. And that's worse than failing, because it makes you believe you're making progress when you're just running in circles. Then came 2025. He told himself, this is my last try. And just like before, he started strong. And just like before, he stopped. By November, he was exhausted, not physically, but mentally. No motivation left, no fake positivity left to hold on to. He was just done. One night, around 2:17 a.m., he was lying on his bed, scrolling through his phone, watching people his age, living the life he once dreamed about. He saw people starting businesses, getting fit, moving forward, while he lay there in the same place, doing the same thing, feeling the same guilt. He turned off his phone and stared at the ceiling, and then a painful thought hit him. What if this is all my fault? That thought stung like fire. But for the first time, it felt real. He realized no one stole his potential. No one took away his focus. He gave it Hawaii every time he hit snooze, every time he said tomorrow, every time he escaped reality for comfort. He wasn't a victim of life. He was a victim of his own choices. And that night, he couldn't sleep. Something inside him had finally woken up. At sunrise, he made a deal with himself. Not a wish. Not another resolution. A deal. He said, I've wasted 10 months. I won't waste the last 2. He didn't make a huge list of goals this time. He just set 4 rules. Simple, powerful, and unbreakable. The first rule was to fix his energy. He realized his body was dying before his dreams even had a chance. He stopped using his phone late at night, drank more water, and finally started sleeping 8 hours a day. In a week, he felt human again. He didn't need motivation anymore. He had energy. And energy changes everything. The second rule was to respect his body. He stopped eating junk and started treating food like fuel. He understood that you can't have a sharp mind with a weak body. Ate cleanate, enough protein. And within weeks, he noticed his mind clearing, his focus returning, his confidence rebuilding. The third rule was to kill the old identity. He wrote a line on his mirror. That version of me is dead. Every morning, eluctat italiano. He wasn't trying to improve anymore. He was rebuilding. He didn't want to be a better version of the old him. He wanted to become someone new, and that mindset changed everything. The fourth rule was to win small. He didn't chase massive goals. He focused on small victories. He played chess again. He read. He ran. He did something every single day that made him feel proud, even if it was just for 30 minutes. Because small wins create pride, and pride kills procrastination. Slowly, his confidence returned. His days started feeling lighter. His mind grew sharper. December arrived. Cold winds, quiet nights, but a new fire inside him. His friends were still making New Year's resolutions, talking about starting fresh in January. But he didn't care about January anymore. He had already started. He looked at himself in the mirror. Same face, different energy. He wasn't perfect, but he was present. He was proud. When 2026 arrived, there were no fireworks, no parties, no big celebrations. Just peace. He wasn't rich. He wasn't famous. But he had something far more valuable: consistency. He had rebuilt himself piece by piece, and that changed everything. Months later, people around him started noticing. They said, "You've changed. You're not the same anymore." And he smiled, because they didn't know what it took. They didn't know that it didn't change overnight. It changed the night he stopped waiting. And maybe that's exactly what you need right now. Not another plan, not another Monday start. Just one night where you finally decide, this ends here. Because look at it honestly, you've already wasted 10 months. You can't get them back, but you still have to. And 2 months are enough. Enough to restart. Enough to rebuild. Enough to rewrite your story. You don't need a new year. You need a new decision. You don't need a new version of yourself. You need the real one. The one you buried under distractions, comfort, and fear. That version of you is still waiting, and it's time to bring him back. This is it. This is your moment. Not tomorrow, not next week, not after exams, not after work. Now, because 2025 is ending, but your story isn't. You can either waste 2 more months and enter 2026 the same person, or you can rise so high that when the new year begins, the world feels your arrival. This is your last chance. Not because time is running out, but because your excuses are. You've already seen what happens when you wait. Now it's time to see what happens when you don't. So stop waiting. Stop planning. Stop scrolling. Start doing. Because this, right now, could be the moment that changes everything.